Welcome to the Louie Herron podcast, where I'm going deep into business, sales, leadership, and life. And I mean life, from the boardroom to the bedroom, from business acquisitions to personal addictions, from being saved yet still feeling like a slave, from manning up to mousing out, dealing with divinity to reality. This podcast is dedicated to growth, learning, inspiration, and healing. Jump in, hang on, and hang out. You'll never know which topic I'll tackle next. But one thing's for certain, I'm here to share my experiences, strengths, failures, and hope, all to help us live life at the highest level we can. What's up, guys? Welcome in. Welcome in. Here we go. Another podcast, Louie Herron podcast. I'm your host, Louie Herron. Great to be with you. We are starting the week off. As you know, we drop these every Sunday morning early. Reason being is I like to try to get to you guys some content and information to kind of start your week, kind of be in a position to course correct and get your week together. I know, look, a lot of us got businesses we're running. We've got families we're tending to. We've got children. We've got all kinds of things going on. And sometimes you got to regroup, you got to recalibrate, right? So it's a great time on Sunday to not only have that family day, but also really dial in what happened last week. What happened to you last week? What had you stumped? What had you pissed off? What had you excited? What had you elated? What celebration could you have? These are the things you just got to kind of process. And again, I always say, man, ink it, don't think it. Man, write stuff down, right? Because what we don't reflect, we typically project. I want you guys to just get in the habit of reflecting and journaling and writing. Look, I know it's kind of hokey, man, but I promise you, man, if you can process your information, your stuff, you're going to find things that come up in you that you didn't even realize were there. Today, I want to talk to you about something about how to get out of your own way. Now, I know a lot of you may think to yourself, well, I'm in a good space right now. And if you are, fantastic, okay? Take heed, because inevitably we find ourselves in some moments where we can't get out of our own way. Like, have you ever felt at the bottom and you're trying to regroup again? You're trying to begin again, right? Your thoughts and beliefs and behaviors were just not moving you in the right direction. Maybe even more importantly, they weren't congruent with who you are as a person. I mean, I've been there before, right? My heart and mind wants to go one way, but my behaviors and actions, they're not lining up, man. Something's not right. That's a telltale sign that something inside's not connecting, right? But some people even get to a bottom, right? And so again, when you get there, there's no purpose, no direction, no production, no perspective. There's no profits in your business or minimal. All of this affects your body being balanced in business, all of it, right? And again, I think it's important to realize that not all bottoms are due to addictions. A lot of people say, oh, I've hit rock bottom, or, man, I'm such in a bad place. I can't get out of my own way. I can't get started again. Look, there's loss of loved ones. There could be a series of just poor choices and decisions you've made that's landed you in a spot that you're at right now, right? Maybe there's divorce, or maybe you're not in a divorce, but you've got some things looming that you need to correct and work on rather quickly before divorce happens. Something happened to your children that's devastating. Doctor delivers some bad news, life-threatening information to you or a loved one. You lose somebody, or you lost a career job or something of that nature, or you could have been like me, like a massive identity crisis, right? I remember specifically, I had like the perfect trifecta, right? You own a car dealership, names on the building, married, 20-year marriage, got 2 kids, private school, everybody's healthy, nice house, the boats, the jet skis, blah, blah, blah. I think everything's good. Then all of a sudden, boom. That divorce hits, and then all of a sudden, it's an identity crisis. Right now, my family's ripped apart. Right? What is divorce? Divorce is divided force. That's what divorce is. It's divided force is divorce. And that is a brutal thing. And that can land men in a spot that is absolutely horrific. And I get it. I've lived it. I totally understand. And when you're in this place, most people can't even see the damn next step. And that's where I think I can help you. This is why I wanted to share this with you today, because I've been there and I understand that when the fog is so dense and the paralyzation is gripping you, you don't really know which direction to go. right? So I want to share some things with you, 3 things that I think will help you dramatically in fighting through this can't get out of your own way. You're in a spot where you got to get moving and you can't. So remember, the choices you make determine the road you take. I think it's so pivotal. It's so critical to realize where you're at as you're listening right now, right at this present moment. Your life is a resume. Your life is a resume in your body, your being, your balance, your business. You look at your body, you are a resume for your body. Look at your resume. What have you done for your body? That gives you your answers, as well as your relationships, as well as your business, if it's not fruitful like it needs to be, right? Choices get us in the spots that we're in. It's not necessarily circumstance to most extent. Most degree, it's our choices. But the good news is the choices that you made that get you there, you can make new choices to get you out of there. So that's what I want to share with you. And I tell you, when I coach a lot of guys, 8 out of 10 times, most of these men need a reboot. There's a major stall or pain or some kind of self-sabotage that's going on within them, and they need a reboot, man. They need a perspective change, right? How we perceive is how we receive. And again, what you focus on, energy and action always follows thought. What you focus on expands, right? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you're focusing on problems, guess what? You're creating and attracting more problems to you. And the problems seem bigger and bigger and bigger. When you're focused on purpose and focused on solution, you're bringing more purpose-driven stuff and more solution-driven ideas to yourself. So again, the main thing is when we're in this space where we're kind of at a reboot or restart, a bottom, can't get out of our own way, it's where we end up of somewhat of an absence of hope. And so that's what I want to create today. I want to give you 3 things. And let's start with the first thing that I want you to really pay attention to. Number 2, I think, is more powerful, but you got to start somewhere. And I really believe, and again, you guys know when you hear me listen when I talk, I'm all about writing things down. And the reason why is because I've processed so much, and my growth over the years has been exponential when I've written things down. Right? I have things in my mind and they're all over the place, and I got this monkey mind going on. I can't think straight. I'm stressed. I'm frustrated, especially in adverse situations. I got to stop, pause, take a breath, chill out for a minute, grab pen, grab paper, and let's go to work. So the first thing I suggest we do is we do an assessment, an honest appraisal of where you're at, the absolute truth. No bullshit, no lies, the real deal. Where are you? Where are you currently at? Truth in your body, your being, your balance, and your business. All 4 areas of your life. I know you may have one key area that's got you looped out, but all 4 areas, you got to assess, do an appraisal, right? The thing I want you to remember is it is never, trust me when I tell you, it is never as bad as you think it is, okay? And again, it may not be as good as you think it is, but an assessment means that we assess the good you've done as well as some of the things that you want to analyze that you think are not so well. And that's the first thing that's going to gravitate to your mind is that negativity. So again, but understand, even if it's simply that God has woken you up today, that's a win. I want you to remember this morning, tomorrow morning, next Friday, 1 month from today, there is somebody that's not going to wake up. There's somebody that's not going to wake up. And I want you to understand something. Dead people don't have any options. You still have options. So be grateful that, you know what, it could be bad right now, right? It could be tough right now. But again, you have the option to make change. And I urge you to stop doing the one thing, and I'm not going to identify what that is because only you and you knows what that one thing is that is destroying you, and start doing the one thing that can propel you. Stop doing the one thing that is, I don't know what that one thing is. Think about it for yourself for just a moment. What is the one thing that you keep saying, God dog it, man, why do I keep doing this? Damn, this is killing me. Damn, I need to stop this. Whatever that is, stop it. Stop it. You know what to do. You know what it is. Make the commitment and stop it. So after we assess and take a nice appraisal, here's the second thing. This is so important because this is right now in whatever situation you're in. Number 2 is the one thing you have 100% control over. No one can take it away from you. No one can stop you. You have control. And that one thing that I urge you to commit to, and the number two thing that I think you should step into is get into the gym and start to manage your food. And let me tell you why, okay? Getting into the gym and starting to working out starts to release the dopamine and endorphins that you need to start gaining momentum. Big Mo. Without momentum, you've got nothing. Any business, any relationship, any personal endeavor, you need momentum, right? Once momentum's created, you stand the heck out of the way and let it roll. That's the whole goal. Get some momentum. Working out releases that dopamine, endorphins, and gets you going. Working out builds severe self-confidence. It just makes you feel better. Working out gives you clarity of thinking. Working out relieves stress inside of you. Working out releases all those toxins that you may be harboring or carrying, right? All that stress hormone, all that whatever toxic foods or drink you've ingested. And then I also, when working out, all I'm suggesting is just 4 days a week, pick up some weight. I don't care if you're my age at 50 or you're 25. It doesn't matter. Pick up some weight. Think about the people that lived the longest. These farmers back in the day, man, they were in the yard all day, picking up stuff, using their hands. The same concept. As we get older, just pick up some weight. Move some heavy weight around. The other thing I want you to focus on is 10,000 steps. Intentional walking. You ain't got to sprint. You ain't got to run. You ain't got to. And when I'm walking you through this, guys, I'm walking you through from my own personal experience. Okay. I've had some bottoms. I've had some pivotal moments. I've had some time. What did I do? How did I get myself out of this funk? How did I get out of my own way? I'm sharing it with you. And if you'll just tackle it for 30 days, I can assure you, you're going to see a major difference. But 10,000 steps a day minimum. What that requires you to do is intentionally walk. Because you're going to walk around all day and get 3,200 steps, no problem. All right, to get another 6 or 7 or 8,000 steps, which by the way, 10,000 is bare minimum. Love to see you get 13, 16, 15,000 steps. That's intentionally walking. Now, when you take this time to intentionally walk, you're outside, you're breathing in the air. Once again, there's no responsibility. You have clarity of thinking. It gives you moments just to be by yourself. Maybe take a walk with your spouse. It doesn't matter. Maybe the point is get in some steps. Flip gears, and why I say start managing your food. When I tell you this piece, guys, as far as feeling better, okay, feeling better, number one, eliminate all sugar. All the pantry eating, guys, all that 10:30 pantry eating, and I was the worst at that. Sugar, get rid of sugar, get rid of alcohol, get rid of processed foods. That was tough for me. Man, I love salami, prosciutto. I mean, I love all those things. Got to get rid of all that. If it's processed, get rid of it. I'm not saying you got to be some nutritional freak. What I'm trying to eliminate is all the things that create inflammation in your body, stress hormones in your body, and allow you to go exercise and release some of this stuff. And I promise you, once you get some momentum, you're going to start gaining some self-confidence, some clarity in your thinking. Things are going to get better. Things are going to get easier. Okay. And you're going to release those positive, dopamine and endorphins that you need to make you feel better. And that's really what we're lacking. Drink a lot of water. I know it's no fun, but drink a lot of water. Drink water. And when you have your choice to have anything to drink, eliminate the diet sodas and all that stuff if you can. I'm not saying, again, I'm not trying to tell you guys just be perfect. I'm telling you, if you could do this for 30 days, you're going to see a significant difference. The last thing I would tell you is it relates to food. You really want to raise it up a level. Just Google macros. Just start following your macros. I didn't even know what the heck that term meant. All macros is basically your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats. You're managing what goes in your body. If you start logging what you're eating, everything that you put in your mouth, if you start seeing how it's breaking down and what's going where, it's going to make a significant difference. Protein is like one of the most massive things we can put in our bodies. Males, females, doesn't matter. Protein is absolutely huge. Allows us to process the amino acids, the things that we do when we're exercising. And it's just great overall. It's not just for building muscle. Protein is massively important. And what I look at is I try to take my body weight. That's the amount I try to consume in protein. So I weigh 215, 220 pounds. I try to take in 215 to 220 grams of protein a day. What I find is I really don't have to track the fat or the carbs because I'm so daggum full that all that other stuff falls right in line. Now, again, I'm not a nutritionist, and you obviously can consult your doctor, this, that, and the other. I'm simply sharing with you when I control my food and when I control what I have 100% control over, which is 4 times in the gym, over 10,000 steps a day, I start to feel better. Last thing, go to the doctor, get your blood work, man. Get your blood work done. See where you're at. See where your cholesterol's at. See where your thyroid's looking like. Just start to analyze and look at your body. We're talking body, being, balance, business. These are all factors that are major in performance, right? Allowing us to feel good in our relationships, feel good at the workplace, right? In business, in sales, leadership, have strength, have power. So we have the right perspective to lead people, to do the things that we have to do. I promise you, if you do it for 30 days, just watch what happens. Just absolutely watch what happens. Make the commitment to the one thing that is destroying you and eliminate it, and do the one thing that will build you up. Find out what the hell is going on that you keep doing and stop it, and get your behind in the gym. Get your behind in the gym. You have 100% control. I got to tell you, before I even got into the process of even understanding some of this stuff, I was the world's worst. 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, man, I'm sneaking out of bed, man, and I'm in the pantry, and I've got a Pop-Tart. And if it's at a 100-calorie pack, anything, I thought I get a 100-calorie pack. But the problem was I eat like 8 of them. So 100-calorie pack chips, Oreos, and literally, what does that bring me? Guilt, shame. I'm like, what am I doing? Right? Then I get back into bed right before I go to sleep with all this processed sugar in my stomach. I mean, awful, right? And then I wonder when I wake up the next day. Again, we want to have a high level of vibration every day, a high level of frequency. If you Google the human energy frequency chart, that's just measuring your vibration. All right. Because remember, what your frequency is what people frequently see. So, when people say, oh man, you already got an attitude today. You look like you're in a bad mood. All they're seeing is your frequency, the vibration you're putting off. We may not see it, feel it, but they're receiving it. Right. And if you look at that chart, you can Google it, the human energy frequency chart. If you look at it, it starts at the very bottom: guilt, shame, regret, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. Stop right there. Those are all low vibration frequencies. So if you're in a state of fear, grief, apathy, could give a damn one way or another. You have a level of some guilt, some shame, some regret. You feel you're vibrating at a low level, right? And so the goal is to get ourselves to a high level, right? So then we get to courage, neutrality, willingness, and then we get to acceptance. That's where change happens. That's where we accept kind of this conversation that we can't get out of our own way. I accept it. I own it. Something's got to change. I get it. You take some responsibility. You have some acceptance. Now we start to vibrate at a high vibration. After acceptance is love and joy and peace, till we get to the very final, which is enlightenment or self-actualization, right? That is the highest level of vibration we can go. And that's where you're really in purpose, right? In other words, you're so far up the chart. You're so far away from guilt and shame. You're so far away of lack of production, lack of anything. You're in this realm of influence, helping, contributing, donating, philanthropy work, service work, making people better. And quite honestly, that's the pinnacle, right? That's where you're impacting other people's lives. To me, is one of the greatest things we could ever do. So as we land this plane, let's go to the third and final one. The third and final one, right? If we recap, we've talked about making sure that we do an assessment. Then we talk about watching our food, getting in the gym, right? And then and then the third one is, I want you to take the chance. I want you to take the opportunity to just rely on God. You're in a spot. You're in a bind. You're in a pickle, right? You got to understand. Sometimes, is God your first responder in prayer, or is he the 911 call, right? I mean, and I've been both. And again, this is not a sermon, and I want you to really focus on just the principle of what I'm saying. There's a power greater than us that gives us power that we can't understand. And a lot of times when we're so deep in the woods, we can't see the forest through the trees. We need to call upon something that's stronger than ourselves. The benefits and the power in my mind by really trying to rely on God, you're working on your connection. You get strength to understand what you don't understand. To me, that's power. Right? How many times are you in a spot, you're in a bind, you're like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Right? And the Bible says in Proverbs, it says, lean not on your own understanding, but acknowledge him in all your ways. He'll direct the path. The problem is, for me personally, I like to lean on me. I like to. It says lean not, but I like to lean on me. And when I lean on me, I get me in trouble a lot of times. Right? But if I acknowledge him, acknowledge his existence, he's greater than myself. There's something bigger than me. Right? in all my ways, on body, being, balance, and business, everything that I have, he's going to direct the path. That takes a certain level of trust. That takes a certain level of surrender to self, ego out of the way. And we're talking about being at a bottom, man. We're talking about being in a place where you're like, oh, so yeah, this is stretching. For some of you, you're like, man, what is he talking about, man? But again, when you rely on God, not only do you get the strength to understand what you don't understand, but you also increase your discipline. Right? Things you start to just get more disciplined. And more importantly, you start to understand the power of purpose over pleasure. Get rid of the immediate gratification. We are all in that microwave. I want it right freaking now. And I am, again, I'm not talking at you. Dude, when I do something, I want response. I want answers. I want results today. Like now, like soon as I do it. And I think that level of intensity is fantastic. At the same time, I got to take a step back and realize, man, is this purpose or is this pleasure? Is this personal gain or is this purpose? Am I here to serve? Or am I here to help? Or is this all about me? Right. So again, I think when you rely on God, you gain some of these things. I think extremity creates capacity. Right. So when you're opening up to something greater than self, that's extremity. You're opening to that, which creates a greater capacity. Your container gets bigger. Your understanding of things you don't understand gets greater. Right. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to expand, not contract. Expansion, not perfection. We want to get better. I think we just need to learn how to embrace tough, because what challenges ultimately do is challenges ultimately change you. Challenges will ultimately change you, right? So we got to embrace the tough. I think in this last piece is I'm talking about relying on God. Remember, your conscious voice, regardless of what your faith is God's way of communicating with you. He's talking to you. He's talking to me every single day. The question is, are we going to listen? Are we going to listen? Are we going to placate it? Are we going to downplay it? Are we going to push it off? Okay. And again, I'm one of the world's worst, and I fight myself and I ask for God's strength every day. Let me hone in. Let me pay attention, because the conscious voice that gives me all the answers is the voice of God. My conscious is God speaking to me. So landing this plane, men, look, these are the three things that I think can help you get out of your own way. I think it's a huge pivotal thing that we all learn to just, gather new information, attempt new ways. Look, if you do what I'm asking you to do for 30 days, I promise you, you're going to feel a difference. Do these things for 30 days. Take an appraisal, get in the gym, watch your food, start relying on God just a little bit. Just open up. That's all I'm saying. Get your capacity up a little bit. Watch what happens in 30 days, men. Listen, I appreciate and thank you so much for listening. Those that listen every week, if this is the first time you heard me again, this is Louie Herron. Thank you so much for joining and jumping on. I hope you love it. We drop these every single Sunday. Men, if you hear something today that maybe didn't resonate with you personally in your personal life today, but you know somebody. Oh man, somebody, man, that's at a bottom. They got something going on and you think they may benefit. Share it with them, man. Share it with them. Share some reciprocity. You can't get something and not give it back to somebody else, right? That's reciprocity. Let's give it take back and forth. To those that subscribe, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And all the reviews you've written, thank you so very much. Love to have more reviews to those who haven't. And again, if nobody's told you you're freaking amazing, you're freaking amazing. I don't care what anybody says to you. If you got someone close to you that hadn't told you they loved you in a long time and you need to hear it, your brother freaking loves you, man. You got what it takes. You got the goods. You got what it takes. Listen, until next week on the Louie Herron Podcast, I look forward to seeing you. You guys have an incredible, awesome week.